Have you ever felt like you're doing everything right? The visualizations, the affirmations, the alignment, but the physical world just won't budge? It's an agonizing frustration I know all too well. Throughout my years of studying and applying these laws, I spent a long time caught in the waiting room of the universe, wondering why my thoughts were fast, but my reality felt like it was moving through mud. This disconnect between what you feel inside and what you see outside is what I call the time gap. Today, we are going to dive into the science of why this delay exists, and more importantly, how you can collapse it to see results that once seemed impossible. If you've watched my previous video about the plank door, which I'll leave right here in the cards and also at the end screen, you know that our observation literally fixes reality. That video laid the foundation, but today we're taking it a step further. Why isn't every manifestation instant? Why do the atoms of the 3D world seem to take their time to rearrange themselves to match your new frequency? We're going to explore exactly how the density of matter interacts with the speed of your intention and what you might be doing to accidentally restart the clock. As we go through this, if you find that this perspective is adding value to your life and helping you decode the invisible mechanics of the universe, I invite you to join our community by subscribing. Staying connected to these teachings is how you stabilize the frequency necessary to manifest a life of true abundance. To support your growth beyond this video, I've put together some resources for you. In the video description, you'll find my curated list of recommended books that go deeper into these quantum principles. I've also left a free guide there specifically about equal hours, those repeating numbers you might be seeing everywhere, to help you interpret the signs the universe is sending you while you navigate this process. So, if you are ready to stop waiting and start witnessing, let's dive right into the heart of this mystery. The waiting room paradox. The biggest question I see in the comments, and one I asked myself for a long time, is, if I'm doing everything right, why isn't it here yet? You feel like you're in a cosmic waiting room. You've placed your order with the universe, you've done the feeling work, but when you look at your life, nothing has changed. This is what I call the waiting room paradox. It's that frustrating gap between the moment you feel the abundance inside and the moment you actually see it in your bank account or your relationships. To understand this, let's keep it very simple. Your thoughts move like light. They are instant, but the physical world we live in is a bit more like making a pot of coffee. You turn the machine on, but the coffee doesn't just appear in your cup immediately. The water has to heat up, it has to drip through the filter, and it takes a few minutes. If you spend those few minutes staring at the machine, complaining that it's too slow, or turning it on and off again to see if it works better, you just ruin the process. In my own life, I used to be the person who turned the machine on and off constantly. I would manifest a new income, feel great for an hour, and then I'd check my banking app. When I saw the same old balance, I would get frustrated and think, this isn't working. Right then, I was hitting the reset button. I was telling the universe, actually, I don't have the money. I have the lack of it. By looking for the evidence too soon, I was fixing my reality back to the old version. Let's look at a very practical example. Imagine you are trying to manifest a specific text message or a phone call from someone. You sit down, you feel the joy of that connection, and you step into that plank door frequency we talked about in the last video, which, by the way, I'll leave in the cards and at the end of this video so you can catch up. You feel the relief of that person reaching out. But then, 5 minutes later, you pick up your phone and check your notifications. No message. You feel a pit in your stomach. You check again 10 minutes later. Still nothing. What are you doing in that moment? You are practicing waiting. And since the universe is a mirror, it gives you exactly what you are practicing: more waiting. Throughout my journey, I discovered that the secret isn't in the asking, it's in the ordering. Think about when you go to a restaurant. You look at the menu, you choose what you want, and you tell the waiter. After the waiter walks away, do you follow him into the kitchen to make sure he's cooking? Do you stand over the chef and ask every 30 seconds if the food is ready? No, you sit at the table, you talk to your friends, and you act as if the food is already on its way.
You are certain it's coming, so you relax.
The time gap is simply the kitchen preparing your meal. The universe has to rearrange circumstances. Maybe the person who was supposed to offer you a job needs to have a specific idea first, or maybe a house needs to go on the market. These moving parts take what we perceive as time. I remember a friend who was trying to manifest a new car. She did the work, but her old car broke down in the middle of the process. She could have looked at that and said, "The law of attraction is failing me." But instead, she smiled and said, "This is just the universe clearing the space for my new one." She stayed at the restaurant table instead of running into the kitchen in a panic. 2 weeks later, she received an unexpected bonus that covered the exact down payment for the car she wanted. The reason we have this delay is actually for our own protection. Imagine if every single thought you had manifested instantly. If you had a split second of fear while driving or a moment of anger towards someone and it became real immediately, life would be terrifying. The time gap is a buffer. It gives you the chance to make sure you are consistent. It's the universe asking, "Are you sure this is the frequency you want to live in?" To master this, you have to develop what I call sensory discipline. You have to care more about how you feel inside than what you see on the outside. If you are manifesting wealth, you have to feel wealthy even while you are paying a bill that feels a bit tight. If you are manifesting health, you have to focus on the parts of your body that do feel good, even if another part is still healing. When you stop checking the mail to see if your manifestation arrived, that's exactly when it shows up. Why? Because when you stop looking for it, you are finally sending the signal that you already have it. The waiting room only exists as long as you feel like you are waiting. The moment you decide that the order is already being prepared in the kitchen and you go back to enjoying your life, the gap begins to shrink. You move from the slow lane of doubt into the fast lane of certainty. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how to handle the 3D noise that tries to pull you back into the waiting room so you can stay in the frequency of the result. Frequency versus matter. Why the world feels stuck. In the last block, we talked about the restaurant and the coffee, but now I want to show you what is actually happening behind the scenes of your reality. Have you ever noticed how some days everything seems to flow? You get the green lights, people are kind, and money shows up, while on other days it feels like you are pushing a giant boulder uphill. This isn't luck. It's the difference between moving through frequency and moving through matter. To understand why the physical world feels so stuck or slow, think about the difference between steam, water, and ice. They are all the exact same thing, right? H2O. But steam moves fast and fills a room in seconds. Water flows but takes a bit more time to fill a container. Ice, however, is solid. It doesn't move unless you apply a lot of heat or wait for it to melt. Your thoughts are like steam. They are high frequency, fast, and can change direction in a heartbeat. But the physical world, your house, your body, your debt, your job, is like the ice. It is simply energy that is slowed down so much that it became solid. The mistake I made for years, and maybe you are making it too, was trying to chip away at the ice with my bare hands. I tried to change my life by working harder, struggling more, and exhausting myself in the physical world. But you can't change ice by fighting it. You change it by changing the temperature. In quantum terms, your frequency is the temperature. When you change your internal state, when you truly feel the relief of the solution instead of the stress of the problem, you are heating up your reality. But here's where the time gap gets tricky. When you start heating the ice, it doesn't turn into steam instantly. First, it has to melt into water, and then it turns into steam. This is why, in the beginning of a manifestation, things might even seem to get a little messy or wet before they become clear. I remember a time when I was trying to manifest a move to a better city. I was doing my mental work, but in the physical world, my car broke down and I had a leak in my roof. It felt like the ice of my life was cracking in the worst way.
The old me would have panicked and said, "The ice is breaking, I'm in trouble." But because I understood this principle, I realized the ice was just melting. The old structure was collapsing to make room for the new liquid state. I stayed in the frequency of the move, and within a month, the insurance payout from the roof and the car sale gave me the exact liquid cash I needed to relocate.
The reason your world feels stuck is that you might be refreezing your reality every morning. If you wake up and the first thing you do is look at your old bills or think about the person who hurt you, you are basically putting that ice back into the freezer. You are observing the solid state of your problems. Remember what we said about the Planck door. Your observation fixes the reality. If you observe the ice, you get ice. So, how do we practically melt a situation that seems impossible to move? You have to stop treating the 3D world as the truth and start treating it as old news. Everything you see with your physical eyes right now is just the result of your past thoughts. It's like looking at a star in the night sky. You aren't seeing the star as it is now, you are seeing the light that left it years ago. Your current bank balance is just the light from your old beliefs. If you want to speed up the process, you have to stay in the steam frequency, the thought and feeling of the result, even while the ice is still sitting on your table. In my journey, I learned to say to myself, this situation is just energy in a slow state, and it is already starting to melt. This simple shift in perspective stops the quantum checking we talked about earlier. Instead of looking at your life and asking, is it fixed yet? You look at it and say, it's already melting. This is the bridge between the Planck door and your daily life. And remember, if you haven't seen the video where I explain how to access that door, it's in the description and at the end of this video. When you go through that door, you are working with the steam. When you come back to your living room, you are dealing with the ice. The secret of the masters is knowing that the steam is more real than the ice. When you value your internal feeling more than the external evidence, you are no longer a victim of the time gap. You become the one who controls the thermostat of your life. The reset trap. Why we accidentally cancel our orders. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to manifest big things effortlessly, while you struggle to manifest even the small stuff? It usually comes down to an invisible trap I fell into for years, the reset trap. Think of it like downloading a massive, life-changing file on your computer. If the file is huge, it takes time. You see the progress bar moving, 10%, 30%, 50%. But if you get impatient and click cancel or refresh the page because it's not finished yet, you have to start all over again from 0%. In the quantum world, your doubt is the cancel button. Every time you look at your reality and say, it's not happening, or I knew it was too good to be true, you are essentially refreshing the page. The universe was halfway through rearranging your life, but your emotional reaction sent the message, forget it. The old reality of not having is the one I'm focusing on again. I remember a time when I was practicing these principles to attract a specific opportunity in my career. I felt aligned. I felt the steam frequency, and things were starting to move. But then a week went by with no news. I let a single afternoon of frustration take over. I told a friend, maybe I'm just delusional. Nothing is changing. That one sentence, fueled by that specific emotion, was a massive reset. I felt the energy shift immediately. It felt heavy again. I had to spend another 2 weeks just getting back to the state of certainty I had before. Here is a practical way to identify if you are hitting the reset button. Watch your reactions to bad news. Let's say you're manifesting a financial breakthrough, and suddenly you get an unexpected bill in the mail. The old you would react with a tight chest and a thought like, here we go again, I never have enough. That reaction is a reset. You just told the quantum field to stop the abundance download and go back to the scarcity file. To avoid this, you need to practice quantum neutrality. When that bill arrives, or when that person doesn't text back, you have to learn to say, this is just the ghost of my past thoughts. It doesn't mean the download has stopped, it's just the old data clearing out.
Think of it like ordering a package online. Once you get the confirmation email, you don't sit by the window for 3 days crying because the delivery truck isn't there yet. You don't call the company every hour saying, "Since it's not here, I guess you lied to me and I'm canceling the order." You just go about your life. You clean your house, you go to work, you sleep well, because you know the package exists and it is in transit.
In my practice, I discovered that the most powerful thing you can do during the time gap is to refuse to re-observe the problem. If you are manifesting a healthy body, but you wake up feeling tired, don't spend the morning talking about how tired you are. That's re-observing the ice. Instead, focus on the one part of you that feels okay, even if it's just your little finger, and observe that as the beginning of your new reality. Most people are quantum resetting their lives 10 times a day. They have a good meditation, start download. They see traffic, reset. They feel inspired, start download. They see their bank balance, reset. They spend their whole lives at 5% progress. The secret to breaking this cycle is consistency over intensity. It's better to have a steady, calm knowing that your order is on the way than to have 1 hour of high-intensity visualization followed by 23 hours of doubt. When you stop hitting reset, you'll be shocked at how fast the progress bar suddenly jumps to 100%. You aren't making the universe move faster. You're just finally getting out of your own way and letting the process finish. So, what do you do in that exact second when the 3D world slaps you in the face and you feel the urge to hit the reset button? Throughout my journey, I developed a simple 3-step emergency protocol that saved my manifestations more times than I can count. I want you to use this whenever you feel your frequency dropping. First, stop and label. The moment you see that bill, that rejection, or that empty space where your manifestation should be, don't let the emotion run wild. Stop and say to yourself, "This is a 3D echo." By labeling it as an echo, you are reminding your brain that what you are seeing is just the sound of your past thoughts bouncing back to you. It's not your current reality, it's just old noise. Second, the 17-second rule. Science suggests it takes about 17 seconds of focused thought to start shifting your vibration. If you can catch your negative reaction within those first few seconds and pivot, you prevent the reset. Instead of spiraling into "why is this happening?" immediately find one thing that is working in your life right now. It can be as simple as, "I am breathing, I am alive, and I know how the universe works." This breaks the momentum of the cancel command. Third, reorder with certainty. Treat it like a glitch in the app. If you were downloading a file and it glitched, you wouldn't throw the computer away. You would just click resume. Do the same with the universe. Say, "I see the old data, but my order is still in transit and I am choosing to stay at the table." By doing this, you transform a moment that would have been a reset into a moment of quantum strength. You are proving to the field that you are no longer a slave to what your eyes see, but a master of what your soul knows. This consistency is what finally forces the glacier to melt and the download to finish. Collapsing the gap. Practical strategy. Now that you understand why the delay exists and how to stop hitting the reset button, the question is, can we actually make the process faster? The answer is yes, but it's not about rushing the universe. It's about collapsing the distance between you and your desire. In physics, we know that distance is relative. In manifestation, the distance is simply how much resistance you are offering to the current moment. The fastest way to collapse the time gap is to practice what I call sensory satisfaction. Most people are waiting for the physical object to arrive so they can finally feel the satisfaction. They think, "When I get the house, I'll feel secure." But by doing this, they are highlighting the gap. To collapse it, you must find a way to feel the satisfaction now without the physical object.
I remember when I was manifesting a specific level of freedom in my life. Instead of waiting for my schedule to clear up, I started taking 15 minutes every morning to sit in the sun and feel completely free, as if I had no obligations at all. I gave my body the chemical signal of freedom before the 3D world provided it. Because I was already there emotionally, the universe had to bring the physical reality to match me much faster. Another practical trick is to stop noticing the absence. This sounds simple, but it's profound. If you are waiting for a person to call, every time you look at your phone and think they haven't called, you are widening the gap. To collapse it, you have to become so involved in your current joy that you forget to check if it has arrived yet. It's the classic watched pot never boils scenario. When you stop watching the pot, it boils instantly. By applying these shifts, recognizing the 3D echoes, avoiding the reset trap, and feeling the satisfaction before the evidence, you aren't just waiting anymore. You are becoming a match for the reality you want. And when the match is perfect, the time gap simply vanishes. If this deep dive into the mechanics of time and manifestation has brought clarity to your journey, I invite you to subscribe to the channel. My goal here is to provide you with the practical tools and the expert perspective you need to stop struggling and start creating with certainty. By joining us, you're telling the universe you're ready to master your own frequency. I want to sincerely thank you, each and every one of you, for staying until the end, for watching, and for being here with us. Your dedication to your own growth is the greatest signal you can send to the quantum field. I truly appreciate your presence in this community. Thank you again for being part of this journey with me. I can't wait to hear how these shifts are collapsing the gaps in your own life. We'll see you in the next video. To help you stay in this high-frequency state, I've left some powerful resources in the video description. You'll find a list of books that I personally recommend for anyone who wants to master the science of manifestation. Also, don't forget to download the free material on equal hours that I've prepared for you. It's a great guide to help you understand the signs the universe is sending you right now. You can find all the links right below in the description.